guys, what's up? Welcome back to Private Ryan Gameplays. For this week, this video will be all about the Disney's TV series Loki, and it's gonna be episode 4. If you're joining us for this week, I'm joining again the Juicery Podcast crew for a review, reaction, and some insights and tidbits regarding that TV show. So if you happen to like podcast type of content, I am posting weekly content like this. So do leave a comment, subscribe, and give me a like for any thoughts that you have. With enough said, let's start the podcast.
It's the Juicery Podcast Show.
Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back for another week of review and reaction for Marvel's TV series Loki, and we're going to be discussing episode 4. It's me, Private Ryan. I'm going to be joined by Tom CP and Bench. Are you there, guys? Say hello.
Hello, we're back with a glorious purpose.
Oh yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is John ZP, and welcome to the Juicery Podcast. Yes.
Glorious purpose week on week.
Yep. Let's give some hype to this episode, guys. Come on.
Yay.
This is an awesome episode. What the heck,
Last week we
Benj?
didn't have that enough energy from last week. Hope we rub it off and we have high energy for today because we're going to spoil a lot for this episode
everything.
4.
Yeah. We got some. We knew it.
What do
We
you
called
call
it. We got some predictions right, and we got some.
We got some predictions right. Should we delete our last episode?
No. We can put it there for reference. You know,
Where we got it wrong.
yeah. Where we got it right and where we got it wrong.
Yeah. What did they call the bombs that they put? The detonators?
Reset charges.
Yeah.
Reset
We're going to
charges.
blow up some research charges this week.
Over from the last
gonna-
episode. No, we can place it there. We can remind. It's gonna remind us that there are some times that we make mistakes, and there are some times that we got it
Yeah.
right.
And
So,
we're going to be doing some prediction for the upcoming
more
last
predictions. More predictions.
last
2
two
more
episodes
episodes.
to go.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 more.
But before those 2 episodes, let's talk about this episode, the Nexus event, episode 4 of
And the
Loki.
the title is Nexus Event. So
Yeah,
who's going to
the
do the
title.
spoiler warning?
Oh, we're going right away.
Oh, that was very
Okay.
quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. Nice.
Because this is going to be long. I'm predicting it's going to be long. So
Okay,
we'll do right ahead.
let's
Go
go.
ahead. Spoiler warning, guys.
Spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen the episode, and please do see the episode, please step away. You're now at the spoiler territory. Like every time we say this, like, you should know by now that we're going to spoil this episode, and give yourself this one. Like, this is something that you should see
Definitely.
firsthand, not really from us yapping about how good it is, because it's actually really good. So please give yourself that time to see this, and then give yourself your own judgment. And then before you leave us, please like and subscribe. Follow us on our, I was going to say Instagram, but yeah, follow us
We
on
have
our
an
social
Instagram.
media. We'll somehow create an Instagram account in one of these days. But yeah, follow us on Patreon, support us, give us some money, give us some love.
Yes.
We are also on Google Podcasts. We have our what's
Spotify.
that?
Spotify.
I
Anchor
wanted to say that.
FM. Anchor FM.
Anchor FM.
Mhm.
You can also see us on those platforms. You can check us on Xbox, PSN. Last FM is still people just still use that. Multiply. So yeah, follow us and enjoy the show.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
they're gone. We can start the show.
Okay.
That's the energy.
Yes. Okay. Let's start with the main episode. Episode 4, the Nexus
Yeah.
event.
Where do we start?
We start,
With the very first scene.
with the very first scene with a different angle of Asgard. Okay. When usually when we see Asgard from the point of view of the movies Thor, we usually see it in the front part, right?
Yep.
By the Bifrost. You always see it by the Bifrost. So this time we see a long shot and a landscape shot of Asgard from behind.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a different approach. Like for example, if it's about Thor, the angle is in front. I mean, the shot is in front. In this case, it's Loki's turn to be in the limelight. So they did a different, probably they did a different approach to shooting Asgard. In this Asgard, this is a different Asgard as to our 616 or the normal MCU, the main MCU Asgard. This is the Asgard of Sylvie. Okay, so this is what's years back when Sylvie was still a kid. Enter the girl played by, she played, I need to check that out, but
Let's check that later.
So,
It's usually
Sylvie-
kids in
Yeah.
horror films.
she might be the one in The Walking Dead, Judith from The Walking Dead. I don't
Judith.
know.
Judith from Walking
Oh,
Dead.
she's all grown up.
Yeah.
Used to be a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So she's brunette in this scene, the very first scene that we're gonna see.
She's a kid.
Sylvie.
Ryan, she's a kid.
Yes.
Brunette, she's gonna go blonde.
Ryan,
she grows
she's just a kid. Let's not be on another list again.
Yes. You're
Okay.
gonna be stricken out already. You already have 2 strikes. Yeah. Okay.
So
So
she's playing with something.
yeah. By the way, now I got it. She's played by Kaylee Fleming, who was portraying Judith Grimes on The Walking Dead. So yeah, during that flashback, the young Sylvia was playing with toys, like they're like a toy Viking ship, and there's also like a stuffed Fenrir, the giant dog Fenrir, and then there's a dragon. There's toy dragons and stuff. Well, while she was playing, without warning, she was snatched away by Ravonna back in the days when she was a hunter. Okay.
TVA.
Yeah. Yes.
Skinny
Yes. So
man.
she was a Minuteman. She was a hunter called, and she had this call signed A23. If you guys don't know, or so a little bit of reference, A23 might signify or might symbolize Avengers 23, the comic Avengers 23,
Oh,
issue
the
23,
comics.
which is the first comic appearance of Ravonna Renslayer. Yeah.
That's an app call out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
She was the love interest of
yes,
villain
she was
here,
the love
right?
interest of Kang, who
Mm.
Kang confessed his feelings towards to, and then although Ravonna rejects him, and because of that, Kang annihilates his kingdom, destroys his kingdom. So that's in the comics.
Yeah.
So
that's
anyway-
our Kang connection.
Yes,
For this-
Kang
for
connection.
this episode.
That's our first Kang connection.
Yeah.
So after that, she takes Sylvie to the TVA. She notice that she goes over the same booking process as Loki. And notice in the part where she was supposed to sign all the transcript of all the things that she said during her life. Her transcript pile was thinner than our Loki, as Sylvie was still a kid, and notice that the cat on that scene was missing, which indicates that the cat might not be introduced yet during that era. I mean, the guy who was letting
Cat yet.
didn't have the cat yet. It's also shown in his mug where the picture of the cat wasn't there.
So this is a great way for us to see how long has it been since her first interaction with TVA, and then now she's on the run from Ravonna, and like we know now that Ravonna somehow fucked up and like let her go. So like this Sylvie is her like the one that got away. But yeah, kudos to Ravonna for getting a promotion.
Even though she fuck up.
Yes. So
It was her tempad, right?
Office politics.
yes, I know. The bureaucracy and office politics. So
It was her tempad that was stolen by our kid,
Yeah.
Sylvie.
Kid.
Yeah. She her tempad was stolen, and then this starts the endless cycle of evading capture and hiding in ends of thousands of worlds. All the apocalypse. So, come to think of it, this young Loki from the start has been really smart. She knows where she can hide, and she outgrew that. She grew into a wonderful, beautiful woman in the form of Sofia Di Martino. And she was able to do that. She's a prime example of a Loki that's meant to survive and escape death. Despite her not wanting to die and stuff, something like that. But we have to also note that they took or kidnapped Sylvie because because she was a Nexus event, same as the different Lokis. So which begs to we have this big question in our heads: what was her Nexus event?
Yeah.
Maybe,
and I don't think that was explained here or like shown in any form.
Yeah. My theory is that Sylvie herself, or all variants of Loki themselves, are Nexus events. So
They themselves are the events.
yes, they themselves
That's the first thing.
existing other than the dead Lokis. So the dead Lokis, they're destined to die. So the TVA might say, "Oh, let them be," while the other Lokis who continue to survive,
Exist. Yeah.
continue to exist, they are the Nexus events. So that's why the TVA captures them.
Yeah.
I
think that connects back to the actual Loki in mythology, where he doesn't really win anything. It's always like there's I forgot the actual story, but like at the end of this one story, he actually is the good guy, but he still suffered for it. There before, I think this is like he was prophesied to be the person that will trigger Ragnarok, so he was put into this cave, and like a poison was dropping into his face, and then his wife in Norse mythology is helping him. So it like even at away from Marvel, Loki is been bound to fail at any point. Like he is not the hero of any story, not even his own story.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, which also connects with what Mobius mentioned during the first episode, right? He was destined to fail. He wasn't meant to succeed. He was meant to survive.
Here's something that I find.
He was meant to
that,
exist.
Sylvie.
Yeah, sorry.
So Sylvie was captured when she was a child and escaped when she was a child. Although we haven't known how many years have passed, just fairly recent that she was started killing VA agents, or what do you call this, pruning?
Yeah, maybe she was hatching her plan. She wasn't. She just started her plan now. She was gathering information. She was hiding, and probably this is just the moment, at the start of the series, when she enacted her plan.
Yeah, just in time when our Loki started to be arrested.
Yeah,
the TVA.
Well, yeah, the reason probably why our Loki was included into this story was because he suddenly became a variant himself. Remember when Loki in the first episode asked if TVA was such a very powerful force in the universe, why don't we know it? And then Mobius said, because you don't need to, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing until you deviate. So for all we know, Sylvie has been doing this all this time, and we, the audience, or the people, or the population of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general, don't know what's happening, because everything is going on towards the Timekeeper's plan. So that's my theory, So another curious insight on this is that why did Sylvie only show up in the TVA's radar when she was already 8 or 9? Why not when she was born?
Yeah. She was born.
Like that's very like true. Like, do TVA routinely just go to a variant, like knowing they were born? Because I think this is another like aspect of it. Do people like get like birthed out of their moms as a variant, or
they must have done something for them to be labeled a variant? Yeah,
and then label the variant, and then wait until someone is within 8 years,
or maybe
it's just a scheme.
Yeah,
scheme by the TVA.
Or maybe Sylvie, when she was born, she was already a variant, and then there's some lazy TVA agent who just said, "Oh, it's a variant. I'll just report it next time," and just
I'm
went.
saying Ravonna like really didn't do her job until someone is at 8 years old.
Yeah, something like that. Bad Ravonna. Anyway,
Yeah,
E23.
yeah.
probably she tried.
So yeah, like we mentioned earlier, so we are really curious as to what Sylvie's Nexus event is, or what chaos does her birth spur out, okay? And why was she not meant to exist, right? I mean, why?
Yeah, because her timeline was erased, right?
Yes, exactly.
That prune bomb.
So after
It's
that,
amazing.
we get a look for the first time at the timekeepers, in the scene. After talking, after the scene with Ravonna and Sylvie, we finally see the three timekeepers in the flesh, quote unquote flesh. We'll be expounding on that later. And then enter opening credits. So yay, we're past the prologue.
Timekeepers remind me of Bill and Ted's funny timekeepers as well.
Oh yeah.
Do they
three
have timekeepers there as well? Like, I know there's 3 of them, but I can't really remember what they do.
They are seated at the same, like a trilogy, the triangular type.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they look
Could be
like
a
old
reference.
schmucks, old guys, wise guys seated in a triangle position. in
One of the
chairs
guy looked like
levitating.
the character in this Pixar film. What was that?
The Lorax, yeah. I can't even understand what they're saying. What the heck?
Yeah, I didn't get anything what they're trying to say.
Yeah. So anyway,
It's
after the opening credits, we go back to where we last left Loki and Sylvie during episode 3. Okay. So
Mantis, yeah.
in Lamentis. Okay. So in this scene, we see again that the Ark getting destroyed, and then Sylvie and Loki hopes were crushed, and then they spend their last moments in one of
Holding
the
hands.
what?
They were holding hands.
Not yet.
Oh
Yeah. This was the shot.
Yeah.
This was
From
the shot.
trailer.
Yeah, this was the shot in the trailer that people were speculating. Oh, that's Black Widow. That's Vormir, because of the hair and all, right? Because of the black suit. They all said, Loki will be going to Vormir and talk to Black Widow when she's alive or something like that. But no, folks, that's not Black Widow. It's Sylvie. Okay.
Yep.
So Sylvie and Loki share their last moments before Lamentis gets destroyed. We can see there was this shot from the moon that looks really, really similar to when the bits and pieces of rock from that moon comes crashing down to Lamentis 2, Lamentis 1. It was very, very similar to the angle of the meteor, or the meteor coming down in the movie Armageddon. Did you guys notice that?
I didn't.
Like the bits and pieces of the rocks going down. It looks very reminiscent of Armageddon. So when they were sharing their last moments, there was something, what we were thinking and theorizing the past episode. Something must have happened with themselves, with both of them. Sparks fly, and as we know, Loki, as people say, he only loves himself. So what's a better metaphor than to love himself than falling for himself, which means falling for another version of himself. That's not that's not an impossibility.
Yeah,
knowing
we have that term, right? Asexual.
specifically,
Asexual.
no,
No.
narcissistic. It's
He's a
narcissistic.
narcissist.
Yeah, he loves himself, and he said that you're going to die alone, which simplifies alone being by himself. But since they got two versions of himself, he spends it with
Not going to be alone.
yeah.
Yeah, at least the inside jokes they will get.
Yeah. It's a really good reference.
Narcissism.
Yeah, the narcissism, loving yourself, sharing a moment with yourself before you die. And this creates a Nexus event
Yeah,
in the TVA.
Oh, great.
movies
great.
put this
It's
like
spiked
really
up.
well. Like you and in her falling for each other is like the biggest thing that could break reality. That doesn't really. It should not happen from what it's breaking his brain apart. Like he doesn't like this proposition.
If you guys remember the time in the monitor, the deviation in the time in the timeline, it was almost a 90-degree angle. That's how critical.
Shooting up.
Yeah,
It was shooting up.
it was crazy. So they probably knew it was them. And like I mentioned last episode, I called it. They get saved by Mobius. With a time door.
Mobius,
Appearing
once he
behind
came
them.
appearing behind them, they're in a hurry. They had to leave.
Yeah, that was actually before that. That was actually a good shot of the meteor or the chunk of the moon coming down on the planet. It was a very, what do you call this?
Visual, right?
Yeah, very visual, grand, apocalyptic visuals. So once they enter the time door, of course they're in the TVA and they get arrested. Okay.
Yep.
Book again.
Yeah, they get booked, they get separated, and then we didn't see much of Sylvie after this until the later in the episode. The focus was more on our Loki. Mobius takes him again to the time theater, saying that, oh no, I won't believe you anymore. You're rude. You're a bad friend, something like that.
Thing he has to say will
You
not be
betrayed
believed.
me.
Yeah, he betrayed.
No,
something
you
like that.
betrayed me.
Yeah,
Grow up. Like there was that exact change.
Like banter, they're like bantering with each other and like throwing insults with each other. Great
That's
chemistry.
the best that they can come up.
Yeah, great chemistry with Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson in this part. Mobius then sentences Loki to go to a time loop, but before that, Loki reveals to Mobius the truth about the variants in TVA. He tells them what Sylvie and Loki realized.
Discovered. Yeah.
Realize in their conversations in Lamentis that everyone in the TVA are variants. So that's what he said. Loki said, TVA is lying to you. You're all variants, something like that. And then Mobius wasn't convinced and then gets sent to a time door with a loop.
I think Mobius also said that Loki is like a cockroach.
Oh yeah,
and he's about to die. He's gonna kick in some of his survival instinct.
Exactly. Like last resort. Last resort.
Trying to fool him that everyone's a variant.
Yes. Which we can't blame Mobius because Loki.
After all,
he does do that. He really does that in some occasions. He lies a lot. So
some occasions, most of the time.
Exactly. Then this is one of the most interesting parts. When he goes to the time door. Oh my god, a breath of fresh air. I love it. We have an awesome cameo by Lady Sif, played by Jamie Alexander.
Yeah.
I miss her a lot.
It's been a while since we see her like in the screen, like any type of screen, like big screen or the TV.
No, the last moment or the last time I actually saw Lady Sif was her cameo or her episode in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep, and like that's like in the first few seasons.
That was after Dark World. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yes, and I actually wondering where is Sif right now.
You probably had given birth.
Yeah, we didn't see her in.
She didn't die with Warriors 3.
New Asgard.
Yeah, well, she wasn't in New Asgard. She wasn't killed during Hela's assault on Asgard as well.
Yeah,
so
she was not there with fighting Thanos as well.
Yeah, so we are thinking, where could she be? And this might be a wonderful callback and might be a hint of her coming back, maybe. So
on the next Thor films, she's filming. I've read somewhere else they're filming something for Marvel.
Oh yeah, I think there was a leak thing that Jamie Alexander might be in Love and Thunder. So I'm crossing my fingers.
Well, we hope we can see more of her.
True. So what is this time loop, and why is Lady Sif involved? So
it's a punishment.
Yeah, it's a punishment for a method of softening up Loki.
Yeah. It's an interrogation method for that is being used by Mobius here. And it's just a really great like callback to again the actual mythology where Norse mythology where actually our Norse mythology Loki did cut Lady Sif's hair. And Lady Sif is in Norse mythology Thor's wife. And like there's all the shenanigans how to get her hair back. There's like dwarves
Oh,
creating the hair for her, like golden
nice.
hair. And then eventually that's backstabbing again, like after getting the hair, like and it's like yeah, it's
She
a
gets
full
it cut
story. Like
again.
just
She gets it cut again.
yeah, I think there's something behind using the hair that was made by the dwarves. And like, these are the same dwarves that makes the Thor's hammer.
I need a
Hammer.
Villiers.
So
Need a Villiers.
yeah, it's like this whole story, but at the end it's Loki getting defeated again. So it's about the story of like doing something stupid and then getting reprimanded and then do it again.
Reprimanded
Yeah,
big
Just
time.
being just being mischievous.
Yeah.
Games, right?
So
literally.
yeah. So basically, what happens in the loop was that Sif enters and then tells him, smacks him up for cutting his hair, and
Nut shot.
a nut,
Kiss him in
yeah,
the
a nut
nuts.
shot. You know, if you guys also notice, you know, there's a slap and then a nut shot and then a punch in the face. You know, if you guys notice, every loop, the shot, the punch in the face, the sound of the shot in the face gets louder and louder. So the intensity of the punch or the physical violence on Loki gets stronger and stronger
Hmm.
in every loop. You know,
I didn't notice that. That's cool.
yeah. So he also said, Loki, Sif says, you deserve to be alone and you always be. This is a callback again and a reference or a wild callback to Loki's narcissism. You know, you deserve to be alone, but it doesn't specifically say one person. So you can be alone with yourself.
It's a possible foreshadowing to what is happening between him and Sylvie.
Yes. So
It's as if he can't move, right? He's just gonna be standing there, expecting the punishment to be
Huh?
repeated.
Really, like he can do a lot of how this ended is very like self-realization
yes.
and how he got out of it. So he can influence it in some ways. So this is not like an automated thing that just happened. Like anything you say will like bring you to a same result, which I guess is part of the
The loop.
interrogation part.
Oh yeah, part of the interrogation process. So eventually, when you soften up and then you confess or you know you get broken down, that's when the loop stops.
Yeah.
Right. So, but before that, we switch over to Mobius. Okay. So, during this time, Mobius goes to Ravonna and speaks to her and asks if he can talk to Sylvie. You know, just in case that he can break through the two Lokis and find out what they're planning. You know, odd enough, Ravonna refuses this request. You know, and says to Mobius like, "Stick to your own Loki," which kind of looks a bit
That's her
sus.
Loki.
Yeah, it looks a bit sus. You know.
Well, Ravonna in this whole episode is very sus. Like she's doing a lot of things to undermine any inquiry coming from
Mobius.
Mobius.
Exactly.
Even the
Mobius
C20,
is into something.
even with C20, he was not allowed to check on her if she's okay or not.
It was not clear why. Like, if I'm in Mobius's shoes at the time, I know you're hiding something and it's not good. So I keep on inquiring, and yeah, eventually we see why.
So
The idea that was planted by Loki get onto Mobius.
So yeah, that's where Mobius starts to realize, oh, Loki must be up to something. You know, I mean, Loki must be saying something true. You know, that's where their friendship. He hated Loki because you know he lied, but he kind of believed him in a way.
Yeah.
You know, he's starting to realize that maybe Loki is telling the truth. You know.
Yep.
So
Mobius, as being Mobius, plotted a plan.
Uh-huh.
To know the truth.
Uh-huh. So he passes by, with this, he passes by the cell or the theater where Sylvie was being kept at. And then B-15 was there, you know? So after that, he was asking why we can't go in. It says that, you know, Ravonna don't want anyone to talk to him and stuff like that. And then he also mentioned that why we've what do you call this? We've faced Titans, faced aliens,
Trolls,
and
or beasts?
trolls, Titans,
And
and vampires. Okay,
Yeah,
so that might be a
vampires.
subtle nod to Blade. You know.
It's not subtle at all. Like we only know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's part
Well,
of the
there's
phase
another one
4.
like in Jared Leto's Morbius.
Oh yeah, Morbius. True,
Morbius, not Mobius.
True. So which I just watched the trailer again a few hours ago.
Again.
Yes.
Why?
I
Why do you
don't
have
know.
to like remind yourself this is something that was supposed to happen last
Yes,
year?
yes. Why did
And
it
get
come
sad
out?
again.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sony, Marvel, come on, bring on those movies. Let's get it out. Well, anyway, after that talk, they said, what do you call this? Mobius said that, you know, we've faced these guys. Why are two fugitive copies of themselves such a big pain in the ass to us? Something like that. So another thing that was brought to the scene was B-15 asking Mobius about C-20. So
C2.
yes, because you know they might be big colleagues, you know, close colleagues in the TVA, or she knows what happened to C-20 with the brainwashing, and she herself has experienced that kind of brainwashing by or mind manipulation by Sylvie. So she wants to know what happened to C-20. No.
Was there a scene that returns us to the part where B-15 was hypnotized and when she woke up?
That's later.
We'll be coming to that part later. But during this part, after that scene, Mobius gets to talk to Ravonna again and wants to inquire about C-20. You know?
Yeah, what happened to her?
Yeah. But Ravonna suddenly mentions that she died. You know? She gone crazy and then she died. That's it.
Her mind was,
You know?
was broken.
Yeah, her mind was broken. So it was actually kind of sus again, a strike two. Sus on Ravonna's part.
Ravonna being sus.
Yes. You know, well, Ravonna tried to redeem herself, saying that we don't want people to know about it because it's going to cause chaos and it's going to cause panic. So Mobius was like, okay.
I don't know. I
don't know, but okay.
Wow.
This is strike 2.
Strike two. Strike two. So we go back to Mobius interrogating Loki after some loops of Loki's nuts getting cracked by Sif. Mobius comes in and then interrogates Loki, you know, trying to find out what the two Lokis are up to. So Loki lies about Sylvie coming to her years back to hatch the plan, you know, and then they have a good discussion with regards to how did it happen and what's their plan, something like that. Loki asks Mobius what happened to Sylvie, and apparently Mobius lied and says that Sylvie was pruned. You know?
Pruned.
Yeah. And there we saw the amazing emotion by Loki, you know, you see his emotion of like sadness and despair, and then trying to keep it from
He was laughing. Yeah, he tried to laugh it off.
Yeah, it's like good riddance, something like that, you know. But this sparked something in Mobius and says that, oh, you like her, don't you? You know, there are times when it comes to love, where Loki is not experienced at. He's so obvious, you know. He expresses himself too much, so that's why Mobius sees through him, you know. And then Loki brings up again the fact that everyone is a variant. Sylvie pulls out memories from C-20, and then they discover that they were humans in their past lives. You know, they had a normal life, probably had a family, had a different life, you know, and they were plucked away by the TVA, which Mobius finds it hard to lie, to believe, which ends in the scene with Mobius bringing Loki back to the time loop and saying that he's a big liar, and then Loki countering or rebutting, saying that the biggest lie is the lie you tell yourself. That was very strong, and
Yeah. But at this point, I don't think anyone can really believe whatever Loki is going to tell them. Like they've been through a lot and this is now Loki trying again to get himself out of trouble. So it's I think it's fair to expect this kind of action to Mobius, but it's and he has it in the like when we see the next scene. This is where it gets all disheartening. Yeah, this is a good setup for the next part. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So, moving on. So since Mobius again couldn't stop hearing what Loki mentioned, with regards to them being variants and all something like that. The next scene would be Ravonna and Mobius in their in her office, and they're signing off like the execution order for both Sylvie and Loki.
Loki.
And then after that, they talk like Ravonna mentioned. If there was one place that you would go, where to?
Yeah.
So Mobius couldn't answer, something like that. And there was this conversation that made him realize that there really was something wrong, right? I actually forgot it a bit.
I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, but basically that was the conversation there was like a spark or like a trigger for Mobius to believe Loki.
Mobius.
Yes, which led him to steal Ravonna's time pad. No, this probably is the start of where Mobius thinks, Loki must be saying something right. Loki is there's something shady about the TVA. Then we switch back to Sylvie, wherein B15 starts to question herself. But before that, there was a scene where B15 was looking at this poster. I forgot what it say. What do you call this?
It's one of those like old timey posters that TVA has. And I think it's about. I forgot.
Did you get them all? Did you get them all?
Yeah,
something like that.
You get them all.
Verify through deletion. Something like that.
Yeah, it's always about like pruning someone.
Which makes her think like, why do they have to prune it?
Yeah, like she's now back to thinking what really happened to what's her name again? The other hunter.
C20.
Yeah, B20.
C20.
C20. I can never remember their name. But yeah.
So she goes to Sylvie's room and then takes her to a time door back to the Roxcart incident in 2015, and then asks her, about her memories. That was a wonderful scene by Loki, Sylvie. Yeah, Sylvie and B15, who was.
And we didn't really get to like see what she is looking at, but we know she's happy, and this is very like reminiscent to. It's a literal tears in the rain.
Yes, true. Yeah.
What was that?
Wunmi Musaku really had this part going. I mean, she was amazing in this part. Yeah,
and they going back to the actual Roxxon cart. This episode 2. Like after getting out of Sylvie's influence, she got this look like, because she's always like this stern, like very commanding face and like facial expression.
Yes.
And then like after getting out of that influence, you see this like more innocent look and like very puzzled. So she's a really great actress. Like what's happening.
Yeah, like what the
inside
fuck?
her head, but she's not really. She's acting, but it looks like it's not acting.
True.
Yeah, it's really it helps with how this story is going.
Yeah. So what exactly happened was Sylvie unlocked her memories of her old life. So that's why her emotions or her facial expression was like that. And she finally realized that I had the life before and TVA took it from me.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah. And then
TVA bad.
Yeah, TVA bad. So that's where, the talk on episode 2 with Loki and Mobius saying that, once again, no one good was ever truly good, and no one bad is ever truly bad. So, scene switch. Mobius goes to the library and hides himself while he checks a temp pad, and finally discovers that C20 had a confession. She was saying that I had a previous life. I remember like it was real. I had a family. I had a life. Something like that. It all felt too real. And basically, it says that the scene shows us that Ravonna was the one who pruned C20.
It was shown. It was shown in the temp pad.
No,
that
it
she
was shown.
prudent?
No, but
It's a recording of her like account of what happened or what if she is experiencing that time.
So she wasn't really crazy. She was just enlightened. She was enlightened to what's happening, and so that's why she probably got pruned, or she probably got, I don't know.
She knows too much.
Yeah, she knows too much. So because of this, Mobius heads back to Loki. Well, with Loki so softened up by all those nut shots, and finally realizing that I'm a failure, I crave attention, which is a really, really good scene for Tom Hiddleston. He, if you see the look the look of his face, he was like so vulnerable that time and like so open. Like he lacks attention. He does that because he wants people to recognize him, something like that. And then suddenly Mobius enters. Yes. And then he says that he believes Loki, and he wants to help. He wants to know how to, he wants to plan with Loki to bring down the TVA, to find out what's happening in this place. Just as Ravonna enters the Time Theater with a fellow Minutemen.
Oh.
Yes.
Couple of Minutemen.
Oh, I didn't like where this was going when I was watching. So guys, heartbreak scene. Ravonna asks them, you have something. Yeah, you have something.
You have something of mine.
Yeah, you have something of mine, something like that. So there, Owen Wilson being, Owen Wilson, is trying to like lighthearted, something like that. And he finally answers. He gives back the temp pad and finally answers where he wanted to go,
Yeah.
And he said that he wanted to go back to his life.
With the jet skis.
With the jet skis. So we finally realize, we finally conclude, we finally know that during it's not the variant. It's not in the end scene. It's his past. So in his past life, he had a family, and probably 98% he rode jet skis. Okay? So he had a really, really dramatic speech on that about having a life and a family. Very nice. Yes. And it was really sad after that because the Minuteman prunes him, which also garnered an amazing emotion from Tom Hiddleston. He saw his despair and his anguish when he saw Mobius getting pruned away.
And the scream was really
that was an awesome scene. That was a very sad scene. I mean, my jaw freaking dropped when I saw it. What the heck? Oh my god!
And I think that this point, this is where like, this is a bad episode. I already really like Owen Wilson. There's a lot of development going on. Yeah, and that's why I didn't know that there's a mid credit scene where this one. Like,
we're going to go toward. Okay, fine.
And we'll go there later. But this scene, like, I don't like. Do I like it or not? Like, it's
a shock. It adds shock value to the.
There's a lot of shock value. Like the timing that they did it. There's no way for you to prepare for it. It just happened.
Yeah, it was just like say speech, bam, prune.
Prune him. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, he's pruned.
Now.
And
are you done?
Amazed.
Are you done? There's no something like, are you done? In the last words. Something like that. Prune him.
Prune him.
Movies talks a lot, and you're not going to let him have a last say on this thing.
Yeah.
He was halfway revealing where he would like to be. Moment, right?
Yeah. It's such a sad moment. Such a sad moment. Yeah. Anyway, when he gets pruned, Ravonna then takes Loki and Sylvie to the Timekeepers. And we finally see
we get to see the Timekeepers
again. The Timekeepers, and then they say,
and Ted's Timekeepers.
So they say, "What do you have to say for yourself?" Something like that, and then
or behave because I think Ravonna has the control.
Yeah,
of
they
the
have
neck.
the time twister, the time twister collars on them. So Sylvie being Sylvie, being the aggressive one, tries to go towards the timekeepers, but gets called back because of the time twister.
Yep.
But before the pruning happens, B15 enters and saves them. B15 knocks the crap out of the Minutemen and then gives Sylvie her dagger back.
Her shield. Or yeah,
Her
dagger.
shield. What was that shield?
I'm not
Long
sure.
dagger.
give
Long
this
dagger.
man a shield. No, give
I was-
give this woman a dagger. Like that.
Yeah.
So
Like, she really took her time to like go to Ravonna's office because we saw how it was now like mounted into a mantle.
mhm.
So she really looked like this needs to like make a mark. So I need she probably needs a proper weapon. So I have to go to Ravonna's office, take that down and give it to her.
Was resourceful.
True. Anyway, through the scuffle, through the combat, you can see a nice action sequence. The Minuteman gets beat up, and then also Sylvie knocks the bejesus out of Ona. Yep. And then here we are, the two fugitive variant Lokis faced with the
Knock
timekeepers.
down. They knock out Ravonna, right? They didn't
Yeah, they
ruin
knocked
her.
out. Yeah, they knocked out Ravonna. So there we are, timekeepers, and then a surprising feat or a surprising gesture from Sylvie, throws her dagger and then beheads one of the timekeepers,
Yeah.
which we finally discover that they're
Our
freaking
animatronic.
robots. They're
They're
freaking
animatronic.
robots.
Man.
We also
Robot.
see the two timekeepers laugh while the
Yeah.
head timekeeper gets beheaded, and then they suddenly gets deactivated.
And deactivate.
They're having fun.
Reference
Yeah,
from Wizards of Oz. Out of
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah, a big reference to the Wizard of Oz, where there is a big hologram, and then it wasn't really real. There might be someone behind it, which begs us to question who is behind
There's
the
a bigger
timekeepers.
fish.
Yes, there might be a bigger fish. We're gonna go back to our theories before.
And did we call this? Did we call this one? We get this right?
We didn't call shit.
No. My theory was one of them might be Kang, or the timekeepers might not be real at all. That's what I said. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
so you almost hit
Yes.
the bullseye.
Almost.
My theory was Miss Minutes is behind all of this shit.
That
and she's nowhere to be seen.
bench, that is still,
on. That's
not
still on.
an
That's
impossibility.
still up in
That's
the air.
yes, that's still up for grabs. We still don't know. Miss Minutes
2 more
might
episodes.
still be the
Forever.
main antagonist of the series.
Yeah.
With all the shit that's happening.
All the unpredictable
And
things.
yes, that is not an impossibility. So let's focus. Let's wing on that. Let's put our bets on that as well. Another theory that who might be the big fish on this timekeeper and TVA hula baloo. My theory would be probably the most popular is it might be Kang, since we have references to Ravonna, time travel and such. It most likely directs to Kang. One
Yeah.
theory that I'm also thinking of would be there might be a one main powerful Loki, or like a superior Loki. Just think about this, guys. Stop
That's
and think
awesome.
about this. The main Loki, or the superior Loki heading the TVA, might see deviant Lokis as a threat to him, so he wants to eliminate all of them. It's like the movie The One.
There
Jet
can
Li's
only
The
be one.
Yeah, there can only be
On
one.
Loki.
Yes, he didn't eliminate the main timeline Loki because he know he's gonna die. But these variants who was meant to survive, he wants to capture them. He wants to kill them because he wants to be the only one who survives. Does that sound reasonable to you guys?
Yeah, it's
From
the
the-
same like cool plot for superior. There's a cool plot like this for Kang. Like
Mhm.
there's a council of Kang, and then there's one Kang that works with
One Kang to
timekeepers.
rule them all.
Yeah, so until like he uses a different name because he's cooler than the other Kangs.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is very like plausible in terms of this could actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really. Yeah, this is a very plausible
Theory.
theory.
Yeah.
In Jet Li's the one though, each time he killed his variant, he gets the
Oh,
life
we're
force.
talking about the Jet Li, the one, not the Highlander. Sorry.
The Highlander is also the same.
Yeah, there can be only one in the Highlander. Yeah, they're
Getting the life force,
the
but this
same.
one no life force.
yeah. I also have another theory, but it's in the comics. The timekeepers are like a facade, and there is like a character called He Who Remains, who is the main benefactor or the main leader of the Time Variance Authority in the comics. So
Didn't he create the timekeepers?
yes, he created the
He's
timekeepers.
the one. Okay.
In the
Yes.
comics.
Yes. So those three theories plus our Miss Minutes theories, those are our four theories. So
We're banking on it.
yeah, we're banking on it. So guys, we're calling it.
Calling it Miss Minutes did this all.
Yeah, it's a
You heard that first here.
Yes.
Evil of all evil.
Yeah. Well,
Miss
there's
Minutes will return in phase 4.
there's also this unpopular opinion that it might be Agatha all along.
I hate that opinion. But because this is the team now for the 3 Marvel like TV series that we had.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a hidden villain. So
Yes.
for WandaVision, it's you can say 2 ways. It's Wanda or it's Agatha. You can look at it either way.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's the broker, which we eventually learned it was Sharon Carter.
Yes.
So it's a running team for
it's
any Marvel.
a pattern. We're finally figuring out the pattern that Kevin Feige has been concocting in these
But
series.
what they are doing really well is we can't really pinpoint the first time that Agatha came up is or like Agatha didn't really came up until we actually, or for me, that's for me. Agatha didn't really came up as the villain until we got that song, like it's Agatha all along.
Yeah, true.
Something like that.
I was actually thinking that she might be like a minor supporting villain, something like that. When I first saw her, because in the comics she was primarily a villain in the storyline. The storyline of Scarlet
Agatha
Witch.
Harkness.
Yes, Agatha Harkness. So I might say that she might be like a side character or a side villain, something like that. But we never truly realized that, oh my God, she is the character, the villain all along. In these series, we used to think like, oh, it might be her. I'm thinking it might be her. There are like suspicions that it might be her, but it's not truly her. Then we finally find out, oh, it is her.
Yeah.
So also like in Sharon Carter.
And the song was the clue
Mhm.
all along.
Yes, Agatha all along. Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, the timekeepers. Okay.
Yep.
So after the dust has settled, they finally find out that the timekeepers were robots, and then they said that they have to find out who really is in charge of TVA, and then like a mood switch, suddenly, what do you call this? Suddenly the scene changes, or the mood changes, with Loki going to confess. Might confess to Sylvie on his feelings for him.
Happy, yeah.
Because
how happy he was.
how happy he was to
meet
find
her.
out that that he found him. So it was it was almost a good scene. We were like banging on it. Oh, it's so nice. And then suddenly Loki gets pruned.
And then another one.
Another pruning, very sad pruning.
Oh, I'm gonna ask, why are they calling this pruning? Is it prune, not exterminate or erased?
Well,
yeah. Because we're talking about time branches, so they're like literally pruning the branches away from the main timeline, or like the main trunk that they're keeping.
yes.
So yeah, and I think eventually after we go to the mid credit scene, we'll
reveal.
learn more about why it's just pruned, not really thrown in the trash, burned, something like that.
Exterminate or something.
But yeah, that's the main reason why they're calling it pruning.
Another thing is Ravonna, quote unquote, pruning Loki in the back mirrored Loki doing so to Phil Coulson in Avengers. If you guys noticed,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
stab-
he gets hit by
Stab him
in
in
the
the
heart.
back.
It stab it in the heart. You know.
Yeah.
So
Because it didn't even have the time to scream. It was just shock. It was pruned.
Yep. And if you noticed, Loki's last part that gets pruned was his face, which is kind of reminiscent of also of Vision getting phased out in WandaVision. If you guys remember, probably it's just a trend to think that since the face, the expression would be the last part that gets seen by the character. So I'm not banking too much on like coincidence or something. It might be a standard pattern for effects like that, or like
Someone dying.
format on that. So it's actually kind of sad when it gets pruned. And with regards to what you're saying with regards to the pruning, it's going to be the reason behind the term pruning would be explained or properly discovered during the mid credits.
Ooh, yeah,
guys,
here we
yes,
go.
there is a mid credits scene. But before
First
that,
time.
yes.
The first time in this series.
mhm. But before that, what do
And
you
a
call it?
song, right?
Yeah,
And
before
it's-
that, Sylvie knocks out Ravonna again, or like takes Ravonna down, and then the scene cuts, with her trying to find out who is in charge of TVA, what happened to the real Loki, and all that. So many questions. Then we move to the mid credits, the first mid credits in the whole series.
Yep.
It's mid credits, not end credits.
Mid credits, yeah, in the mid credits. So we finally find out that hooray, Loki is still alive.
Yeah.
Loki is still alive somewhere. Okay.
Somewhere in New York.
Yes. And then this is also reminiscent with the soundtrack and the framing, reminiscent of the scene in Avengers where he was before he was captured. The
Was
scene
getting looked down.
yeah, looked down upon by the Avengers. But in this scene, instead of the Avengers, we find and discover 3 variants of Loki.
It's only 4, multiple.
4?
Yeah,
Was
we
that 4?
finally got the Kid Loki here.
Yes.
Fourth
No.
one is the reptile Loki.
Oh yeah. That 4 variants of Loki. So we got the classic Loki look, which
OG.
was the OG Loki, the comic version of Loki, played by Richard E. Grant. The guy from Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and Logan. And then we also have the black guy credited as Boastful Loki. With his fake Mjolnir with like gears and the hammer with a handle of gears and stuff, like made up.
Big wrench.
Yeah, a
It
big
looked like
wrench.
a big wrench.
Yes. And we also have the Kid Loki in the comics with the alligator Loki as well. So, damn, surprise. So, we finally discover that this probably explains pruning really well, We won't call it as eliminate, because in term eliminate says they get reduced to nothing. But pruning, when you prune a plant or prune branches in a tree, it gets, like Bench mentions earlier, very, very proper description. You get the branches cut off so that the main branch is fixed or like still the same, But what happens to the fallen pruned branches? It goes somewhere. It didn't disappear. Hence, this
Somewhere.
yeah,
This
it
is the
goes
trash.
somewhere. Yes,
Trash timeline.
this is the somewhere. No, so
Okay.
Kind of apocalypse, right? The
Yeah.
background has shown some destruction.
yes, a good reference there. If you guys notice in the setting where the trash timeline takes place is probably New York. As we can see, we can also see the Avengers Tower there, which is a bit destroyed, but it's a little bit different. If you guys also notice, if you look closely, the Avengers Tower didn't look like the Avengers Tower on the 2012 Avengers movie. It looked more like the 2015 Avengers Tower in Age of Ultron. So it didn't have the helipad, the Quinjet helipad on the 2012 version of the Avengers Tower didn't have the Quinjet helipad, which the Avengers Ultron Tower had. And in this scene, the Avengers Tower had that Quinjet land pad. So we are speculating, or we're theorizing that this event did not happen in a different timeline where the Chitauri succeeded. This might be another apocalypse event after, probably before the Age of Ultron happened, something like that. What are your thoughts, guys?
I actually didn't really notice that part. I just know that this is somewhere in New York. Because I saw the Avengers building or the Avengers Tower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more fixated on where is Hulk Loki or Goblin Loki, whatever are calling him now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
and like this made me really happy because I skipped this part the first time I saw this episode.
yeah, Benj was so sad.
No, how
I
are you
missed
going
it,
to fix this
yeah.
the next time? Like, fix this for me. But yeah, it like I just found out because like I saw it in one of my recommendations that there's an actual end credits.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's silly of me. Yeah, it's I'm not sure how they're going to go with it, but this just expanded now to there's probably an Avenger size coalition of Lokis.
Yeah, the
and
Council
they're
of
probably
Lokis,
going to battle
the TVA.
a more superior Loki that controls TVA. So I
Mhm.
can't wait to see that.
We also haven't seen President Loki. We still haven't seen him
in the
scene.
trailer.
Yes. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we have to look forward to in the next episodes.
Oh, I hope President Loki fixes our healthcare.
Oh yeah.
And the biker, the world
Was
champ.
there a biker?
Oh yeah, the
one
Lance
that's
Armstrong
losing-
Loki.
Yeah, he probably is. He stopped competing because of doping.
Probably. Or like he gets sued by the Greek
Or we get
gods.
sued.
Yeah.
Or we get sued because we keep talking about it.
Oh yeah.
This is now like the third time that we've talked about this.
Yes.
Or like second.
All the views and expressions by Benj does not fully reflect the views.
We're all in
The
this.
juicery.
There's a script. I'm just reading a script.
Okay, fine.
You're forced to read the script.
So I think that's it. That's it for. Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
There's also a big reference on the credit scene. The song that was playing on the credit song is called "If You Love Me" by Brenda Lee.
I like that song.
Yes.
I'm listening to it.
And it's playing with the lyrics of "When at last our life on earth is true, I will share eternity with you. If you love me, really love me, let it happen, I won't care." So that's a chorus of the song, and it probably relates to the relationship of our Loki and Sylvie. So we might see more of that spark going through, the quote unquote narcissistic love of Loki with himself, but not with himself, but with another iteration of himself.
Yeah.
So this
if
is
they had sex, like is that masturbation?
probably
I don't know.
Yeah.
it's like a different form of masturbation, probably.
It's a self-obsessed.
Yes. That would probably break the timeline. So
That's
much.
why
So much.
that's why it's shooting upward. Shooting upward.
That would be so weird, but it's not an impossibility. Everything can happen
boy.
here in that. What's happening in phase 4, the impossible becomes possible. And I love how this is going, kudos to all the writers and the people behind this magnificent series. It gets better and better every episode. Like we mentioned, right? Everything picks up really, really quickly after episode 3.
After the half. Yeah.
Yes. Kate Herron, thumbs up to you. Good job. Awesome. Michael Waldron, amazing. Keep it up. What's in store for us in episode 5 and 6? We'll never know. We can only speculate. But our theories, you heard it first from us.
Three standing, yeah.
Yes.
Standing theories that we have.
Yeah, four standing theories. So we have the one who remains. We have the Master Loki. We have Kang, which is a mainstream theory, and we have the unpopular opinion.
Infamous, yeah.
Yes. Miss Minutes. Bench called that. Okay. So what do you guys think? This is the first time I'm ever gonna say this. What do you guys think? Put it down in the comments. If you guys have any speculations, any ideas, any theories, please put it down in the comments. We would love to hear your theories.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
Yes, change our mind.
Probably are.
Well,
Our
maybe.
track record is not good.
Well, I called some accurate
we
theories.
got-
We've got
we
some
something
hidden
right.
myths.
That's just
We got
what.
something
Yeah,
right.
can't help
Okay.
but hope for the best.
Yeah, but yeah, shout it out in the comment section.
We'd love to hear your comments.
We'll be having you guys for 2 more episodes
Mhm,
for our TV series, Loki. We'll be seeing you again.
mhm.
And this is goodbye time. Say goodbye, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Everyone.
you. Goodbye. See you
Guys,
again.
yep. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and donate to our cause of positivity and goodness and awesomeness in this podcast. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
This is Jom ZP. We have Private Ryan and Bench signing out. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.